Hey guys, good hump day. Happy hump day. Hope you can hear me. Let me know if I'm coming in loud and clear and if you can see me. This is my first time doing this, so I'm sure we'll have some technical difficulties. So we have 7 viewers. Let me know if you can hear me. While I type. Oops. All right, loud and clear, somebody said. Thank you, Shonda. And remember, invite friends to watch. People with the most friends coming to watch will get the digital code for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Make sure that they tag you so I know that you sent them. So we need more viewers. We're at 8 so far. Today we're going to be talking about movies that have been delayed, new release dates, and whether you feel comfortable returning to the movie theaters in July, because that's when I think we may see theaters opening up given the situation. Who knows? But before we start talking about that, I wanted to check in with everybody. How's everyone doing? Are they going stir crazy yet? I'm actually not going stir crazy yet, but I do miss going out. It's a nice day today here in LA. It's 75, I think. Super nice. I was actually going to do it outdoors, but I tested it yesterday and faulty connection, even though I'm right outside the door. My little patio door is right there. So I have to do it indoors, unfortunately, but I hope everyone is doing well. I know so I'm feeling really good because of that. We need some weather. Sefika online. Hi, Angela. And we have Saul James Jenkins. Thank you. He says he can hear me. All right. Waiting for a few more viewers. So how's the weather in your neck of the woods? Hopefully it's getting better. It's been really cold here in LA. It's unlike us to have such cold weather for such a long time. So I'm wondering what it's like in other parts of the world. Well, I heard it was snowing back east a few days ago, which is bizarre given that we're in April. So it's a weird time. And I guess we'll start talking about movies. So movies that have been delayed because of the coronavirus pandemic, there's a lot. I mean, and some of them moved to 2021. So first, let's start with all the movies that were delayed. So Jungle Book was delayed, and that's going to be delayed until the next year. I don't even have my dates here. So that's going to come to us, let's see here, May 22nd. No, July 30th of 2021. Were you looking forward to that movie? I was on the fence about that one, but those two kids are likable. Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt. Who doesn't love Emily Blunt? And other movies that were delayed were F9. That will be out next year, May 22nd. So we have a whole year for some of these titles. And No Time to Die was moved to October, so at least that's this year. Black Widow will be in the fall as well. Pixar Soul also moved to the fall. And Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway. Actually, Sony, they moved all of their stuff out of 2020, which probably might be smart. They might not have big of a slate like the other studios, so maybe they were able to do that. But they moved Ghostbusters Afterlife from July 10th to March 5th. So not too long of a wait. Morbius, the Jared Leto anti-hero film from the Marvel movie, a comic book adaptation with Jared Leto. That will now be March 19th, moved from July 31st. Then there's Greyhound with Tom Hanks. I don't know if it's a true story, but it's a World War I or II. This takes place. He loves World War movies. That's moving from June 12th, and so far an unknown date. And then Infinite, which came out of nowhere, the news of this movie. It stars Mark Wahlberg. It's a sci-fi adaptation of a book, and it's directed by Antoine Fuqua. I think I pronounced that correctly. So that's for next year, Memorial Day weekend, so a whole year on May 28th. So that's a lot of films that are moved. Mulan will also be moved, so that will be later this year, actually in June. No, July. So July looks like we're going to have quite a few movies, and I'll go through them in a bit. But I want to know from you guys. Okay, so these are the movies that are set for July. The Purge 5, yes, that's another Purge movie, believe it or not. That will be July 10th. And Tenet, the Christopher Nolan film, which will probably leave you confused like most of his films, that is staying on July 10th. So that should be a good movie. Mulan will be July 24th. Minions, skip one. SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, moved from July to August of this year. So that's still coming for the kiddies. Minions, The Rise of Gru will be moving to August, I believe. No, actually it says July. Well, that one's up to there. Well, Wonder Woman is coming August 14. The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which is a sequel starring Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, and Salma Hayek, will be August 28th. A Quiet Place, which was set to be released in May or April, is now September 4th. And then Monster Hunter, a video game adaptation with Mila Jovovich and her husband / director Paul W.S. Anderson. Kind of looks like a Evil Dead sort of type of movie. So that's September 4th. So what I want to know from you guys, if the movie theaters open in July, are you comfortable going to the movie theaters? I'm a bit on the fence. I don't know if I would return July. Maybe September for me. I'm not sure. It all depends what's going on. Everything's up in the air. So I don't know. So let me know what you guys think. When do you think you'll return to the movie theater experience? And are you missing the movie theater experience? I'm missing it quite a bit. Safik Online says no. No, you're not going back, or no, you don't miss it? Well, first, let me hear from you guys. Do you miss the movie-going experience? Me, myself, as I mentioned, I've been comfortable at home. I don't know if it's because I'm just tired of going to movies for my job. Because we were doing a lot of movies. There was a lot of movies coming up. So what do you think? When do you think you'll return to the movies? Summer, fall, winter, or 2021, just to play it safe? So let me know in the comments what you think. Because I'm interested in knowing, even though if they opened up the movie theaters, who is going to go? I don't know if anyone would feel comfortable unless we do the testing and there's a wide testing for everybody, so they can separate the positives and the negatives. This is like a horror film or a sci-fi film where you can see in the future they're going to separate the positives, the negatives, and the immune. So that's going to be interesting, given that we live in the US and there's still people who are not social distancing, I guess, in some states, apparently, from what I hear. So it's an interesting time to be a movie fan. So I want to know what you guys have been watching online. There's a lot of good stuff out there, and a lot of it's for free. Actually, there's some news now that Disney will make some of their titles available for like $4.99. So I'll have a list up, perhaps later today, where to find those, or which movies, the Disney movies, are going to be for $4.99. And I believe Lionsgate's going to have like a watch party every Friday for like John Wick. What was some other titles? I can't think of them right now. But yeah, so Lionsgate is letting people watch movies for free on YouTube. It's going to be a watch party, and some of the actors And the producers and filmmakers are going to participate in this watch party. They did a watch party for the Trolls World Tour movie, and apparently it was very, very successful. And it makes sense. It's a family film. The rental is $19.99. So for one person, it may not make sense, but since it's a family film, then it makes sense to buy it for the whole family. And apparently, opening day, it did about 2 to 3 million. So somebody reported, I think the Wrap reported that's what it made opening day. So opening weekend, maybe we can surmise it did a little better. So let's say it did 5 million. That's still probably not the same as a theatrical run, right? Because theatrical run, a family film could have made anywhere from 8 million to the most successful animated movies would be 14 million for the weekend. So they still wouldn't have made as much on digital as they would have as theatrical. So there's a lot of articles right now stating that the movie-going experience may not return because of the availability of these movies on streaming services and digital. But I just don't see it. I think, well, I mean, depending on the situation. Once we get a handle on this and there's a vaccine, once we get back to normal, it might be a year from now, they're saying, who knows? I think it'll go back to what it was. It might just not be quick, but eventually see us going back. All right, let me see some of your comments. Sefik Online says she doesn't. I looked. People are buying them out. And then Saul James Jenkins says he's ready November 2019 for 007 and Black Widow. Oh, yeah, me too. So does that mean you'll go to the movie theater? That's quite a few months away, so I might consider it. Those are the kinds of movies you have to see on the big screen, right? The big blockbuster ones. I don't see how the indie films, I don't see anybody taking the chance for an indie film. You're better off on digital, is my view. That's my view. But blockbuster films definitely have to be seen on the big screen. Same thing with Christopher Nolan's Tenet. I mean, his cinematography, well, he's not the cinematographer, but his cinematographers always do such a really, really good job on those films. So, I mean, that's something I would like to see. And Mulan, the cinematography looks fabulous on that one. So July, so most of us who work in the industry, we might get a screening, but I'm sure it'll be easier to impose social distancing for those press screenings because they'll only invite a few people. So I can see that happening already. So, I mean, in that case, maybe I would go to a movie theater if they social distance people and it wasn't jam-packed. Because usually for a film like Mulan, you know it's going to be jam-packed. But if the studio's arranged where there's enough room between people or families, then I think I could see them doing it. Although July is fast around the corner. It's only April, May, June. So 3 months away. Hopefully we have broad range testing by then. All right. So, well, since we mentioned Black Widow, I'm going to go down the other schedule for the rest of the year. All right. So for October, and actually now we're going into the fall and winter, and there's some big blockbusters coming. I didn't even realize there was that many. And now that these other films have moved, it's going to be jam-packed. So I hope they're prepared for smaller audiences going, smaller box office returns, because I just don't see people going out in droves. All right, so here's for the fall. I kind of mentioned September. Oh, there's more for September, though. There's some big ones in September. Let me see, where are they? I have too many papers here. All right, I got to look on my other notes here. So September, Candyman will be released. The Conjuring, another Conjuring movie, The Devil Made Me Do It, is September 11th. The King's Man, which has been delayed a couple times. So I mentioned The Candyman. These other films I've never heard of. They're probably smaller flicks, which I probably suggest they do online or make available digitally. Venom 2, apparently, according to Collider, it's still on track for October 2nd. But when Sony moved everything out of 2020, They didn't mention a Venom 2, so perhaps maybe it is staying, or they're just not saying. I didn't even know it was in production, so the October 2nd date doesn't seem likely. It's another film called Trial of Chicago 7. Never heard of that one. The Witches. Have you guys heard of that one? Halloween Kills. Apparently the final. Oh, actually, it's not the final one. This is the second to the last one. Halloween Kills, October 16th. As if we need another horror show in this time period. But there we go. The Halloween Kills. The French Dispatch. I've never heard of. G.I. Joe Snake Eyes. Henry Golding from Crazy Rich Asians. And he was recently in The Gentleman. That's October 23rd. And speaking of The Gentleman, that's on digital. If you like Guy Ritchie films, that's right up your alley. It's just like Lock, Stock, and Barrel and his other films. It's pretty much the same exact formula. But it's fun. It's not great, but it's fun. It's Hugh Jackman. And if you like the lingo he usually goes for, that's pretty much what it is. All right, November 6th, Black Widow. There's a movie with Matt Damon called Stillwater. I think it's a sci-fi drama. And then for the kiddies, Clifford the Big Red Dog. Then we have Deep Water, which I believe that's the movie Matt Damon and Ben Affleck wrote. I'm not sure. I didn't do enough research. Or I did, but I can't remember. I didn't write down which one. All right, Soul. Pixar Soul was moved from the summer to November 20th. And it's competing. So this is the matchup between Godzilla and Kong. That's still on the release schedule, but I have not heard anything about any changes to that. Then November 25th, right around Thanksgiving, we're going to have No Time to Die, King Richard, Happiest Season, and then Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. That was moved to November 25th. So there's going to be a couple of films competing for the family market. What else here? All right, so that's October. Let's move into, oh, actually, Ryan Reynolds' Free Guy was supposed to be this summer. They moved it to December 11th. Now we're getting into some big movies coming. Oh, man. So Dune, December 18th. They just released some new images with Timothée Chalamet and Oscar Isaac, and it's a whole lot of Rebecca Ferguson, who I love. And then there's Coming to America. Eddie Murphy's back as the African King. So he's making a comeback in that movie. And then there's West Side Story. So that's a crowded weekend. So, which one would I choose? I don't know. They're all good selections. And then December 23rd, we have The Croods 2. Are The Croods 2? Okay. Tom and Jerry. I don't know if that's an animated flick. And then there's Top Gun Maverick. So that'll be for your Christmas selection. That was also supposed to be in the summertime. I was kind of looking forward to that, but they moved it, so c'est la vie. And then the 25th, The Last Duel. Actually, The Last Duel is the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck script, and I believe they star in it too. And News of the World. So that's your rundown for the fall and the winter and the summer. So let's see what you guys are saying here. All right, thanks for everybody for joining. Again, invite your friends, because the person who invites the most friends and have them tag you will get the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker digital code. And if the behind the scenes is available on the digital code, I'm not sure. I rarely use the digital codes, so stay tuned. I'm going to be giving out more digital codes, and if you want to make a donation, please do so if you can. Of course, we understand the hard times. It has befallen everybody, so I figured, to help out, people can donate so we can keep Cinemovie running, since there's cost with running the website. But like I said, only if you can. All right, so, and then there was a bunch of films that were moved to next year. So this is funny. The Sony Pictures they moved everything out of 2020, right? But they moved Kevin Hart's next movie, Fatherhood, from next year to, I believe, to October 23rd. So that one will be opening this fall, winter. So that's kind of, I'm sure, I wonder if he was insulted. Who about all my movies, all your movies, but put Kevin Hart in the dead zone, Sony Pictures dead zone. That's what I call it. So we'll see. I don't know if that's a commentary on the movie. It was original date was January 15th, so it's not too far removed, but still, I thought it was hilarious that they were moving that film up a few months. And then they're asking about In the Heights. I believe they haven't, from what I last read, they're not announcing yet the date. So I don't know what they're doing with that. So they're probably trying to find the right time. And since they move so much, I'm sure they're kind of battling. And then Saul James Jenkins wants to know, Disney Plus is good for the lockdown. Oh yeah. If you don't have it, I mean, how much is it a month? $6.99? It's not too bad, but during lockdown, if you can't afford it, even if you have a family, it's so worth it. I watched Togo the other day. I was crying at the end. It was so sad, but it was so good. Kind of getting used to, and he fell in love with the dog, and now he can't stop kissing him on his head. So it was a cute story. It's with William Dafoe. And there's also the two new Disney nature docs, Elephant and Dolphin Reef, I believe what it's called. Two really, really good films. The Dolphin movie is really, really light mood. Elephant is kind of dark, because not dark. It's for kids. I think it's a learning experience, but it's not. It's family friendly, but it's a little of a bit of a downer because these elephants, my God, they suffer in Africa, having to cross the desert to get to a new oasis for a season, and it's rough. I mean, eesh, poor little elephants, and then they're always have to face poachers as well, so that's tough. So Shauna says, hope the theater monthly subscription remain after the lockdowns. Oh, I hope so. Can you imagine? They might have to lure audiences back with some cheaper ticket prices, I think. I don't think it would go up because that would really not bring the audiences in. But if they offered a lot of discounts and maybe like free concessions, they're going to have to work to get us back, I think. And also, we have to feel comfortable with going back. But if we were given a discount, would you go back to movie theaters? Because movie theaters have become really, really expensive. I mean, luckily as a press member, I can see most of them for free. But even for free, I'm still a little cautious of returning to the movie-going experience just because of so many unknowns with this virus. We don't know. Now they're saying something about they don't know if, or some people seem to have been reinfected after they tested negative, but that could have been a false negative. They could have been positive, but they tested negative. So there's too many questions up in the air, I think. It's a little too unknown right now. And all I keep thinking about when we talk about going back to normal is WALL-E, Disney's WALL-E. Remember when he gets to outer space, the ship, and everyone is basically looking at basically like this, or I should say, like this, looking at their phone. Or they're dialing their orders, what they're watching, and they're all on motorized scooters. So that's the image that keeps popping in my head when I think of what life's going to be afterwards. So I'm going to read some of the comments. Fast9 and Dolby, yep, she's up for that. Steffi Online said the gentleman was better than I expected. Me too. I wasn't expecting much, but it looked good. Saul James Jenkins, he's looking forward to SpongeBob the movie. Actually, yeah, it looks interesting. They have Keanu Reeves doing a cameo, so I'm looking forward to that. Oh, and speaking of Bill and Ted. I thought I had it on my list here. That's going to be returning. or that's going to stay on the date, the original date, which is, how did I miss that? Let me see. Yeah, I don't have it on my list, although I thought I put it in there. But yeah, so that's supposed to stay on its original date. So that's in the fall. I'm looking that up. So what other movie are you looking forward to in the fall or winter? We'll get to the 2021 films that are coming up. So Bill and Ted, August 21st. So that's going to be an interesting watch. See if they can replicate the magic for that one. Yeah, I'm going crazy. I could have sworn I put it in yesterday. But anyhow. Anywho. Oh, Steffi Online says AMC Theaters filed for bankruptcy. Whoops. Oh, man. I think they're the largest chain, so that's not good news. So hopefully they just doing it temporarily. All right, so I'm going to talk about now the 2021 slate. So we have some big movies. Like I mentioned, Ghostbusters moved to March 5th. Morbius with Jared Leto is coming in March. Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway, January 15. And I was looking forward to The Greyhound with Tom Hanks. I think that movie looks really cool. Greyhounds. So that will be... Oh, there's no date for that one. Well, here's Bill and Ted. That's where it is. And then, oh, actually, let me go back to, you know what this means for movies that have not shot yet that were highly anticipated. So we're talking The Matrix and the game adaptation of Uncharted. So that has been delayed, as well as some other big projects. Apparently, there's an Untitled Sony Marvel project coming October 8th, 2021. And nobody seems to know what exactly that is. Could it be the Sinister Six that everyone's been talking about, which Venom is a part of? Maybe Venom 2 would be setting up this Sinister Six movie, which is it's basically your Suicide Squad. It's all the villains, anti-heroes who get together, probably to save the world. What else are they going to do? Right? So... Okay, so what's next? All right, so I mentioned the big titles for 2021. The Eternals, which has a huge cast, Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, and tons of people. Their release date will now be February 12th. I don't think they had a release date beforehand. Maybe they did, but... And then I think I mentioned Raya and the Last Dragon. That's actually March 12th. I think I mentioned it earlier, but that was moved. Shang-Chi was another Marvel film. That will be May 7th, 2021. Minions Rise of Gru will be July 2nd. F9, May 22nd. Jungle Cruise, July 30th. The Suicide Squad, November 5th. So that's the James Gunn... I don't know what you want to call it. Reimagining sequel. He said it's not a sequel, so what could it be? And then Doctor Strange 2, November 5th, 2021. So that took a long time to get through. And apparently Sam Raimi, I read, will be directing that. So that will be really, really good if that's the case. Now remember, he did Spider-Man. The original Spider-Mans with Tobey Maguire. 1 and 2 were good. The third was horrible. It was hideous. Did you guys like Spider-Man 3? That was horrible. It had that was the first time we saw Venom, a different kind. And then Saul James says Strange 2, Doctor Strange was pushed back till November 2021. Oh, probably makes sense. Since they probably haven't even shot it. Who knows if they even have a script. I'm sure they have a script, but obviously must not have been a really good script because they hadn't put it in production. Maybe they have too many films to cover. Who knows what the case is. Yeah, so Doctor Strange 2, November 2nd. And then for Thor 4, which is Taika Waititi returning with Chris Hemsworth and the new Thor, Natalie Portman. She's going to take over the. Well, he doesn't have a hammer anymore. Okay. Well, she's taking the reins. And Marvel 2 will be July 8th, 2022. So we have a long wait. I wonder what the world's going to look like then. It's going to be a different world by the time we get to that date. Hopefully, we can resume normalcy by then. If not, oh boy. So that's as far. Oh, and then we have Indiana Jones 5. Will be 2022. I don't think they've started shooting that. Actually, when we interviewed Harrison Ford for Call of the Wild back in February, he said he was getting ready to start shooting Indiana Jones. So they usually shoot in exotic locations. So that might change considering what we're going through now, where travel might not be the same for a while. So that'll probably cause a delay. They're probably hoping to start, to resume production probably in the fall or the winter. But like I said, depends. They usually go to exotic locations for those movies, and he actually mentioned he likes going to the exotic locations to go on location. He probably takes his whole family. And it's all James. Oh yeah, I agree. Venom. Tom Hardy's Venom was a hoot. I actually enjoyed it. I don't know what the hate was all about. I thought it was really good, and I really enjoyed it. I actually watched it 3 times. Once in the movie theater, or twice in the movie theater. I took my husband the second time, and then here at home when I got the DVD Blu-ray copy. Then okay, Andres Juarez is asking when the new Batman film is coming. I believe they were still in production. So yeah, they halted production. Actually, that's what I read. They halted production, so they might be rethinking the original release day, which let me see here. I think it's called The Batman. It's June 25th, 2021. But as I mentioned, they stopped production on that movie, and they stopped production on a few other movies. I thought I wrote them here. Yeah, The Matrix, they were about to start production, and they stopped. And what other movie here? Let's see, what are you guys asking here? Oh, Jurassic World 3. I think I read it. Or maybe not. Jurassic World. Let me look it up. Okay, now my doggy's bugging me here. No doggy. I'm busy. I think that's one of the movies that was also stopped. Jurassic World 3, not Park. It says here June 11th, 2021. So, but I believe they haven't started, actually, here is what this is. Yeah, so the production did shut down. That's what it's saying here. So Saul's asking me, what did you think of Marvel's Avengers Endgame? I loved it. I was in tears by the end. I didn't prepare. I didn't take tissue. So like, because I didn't expect. Because I was like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna do it, and I did. So I didn't go prepared. What about you guys? Did you guys like Marvel's Avengers Endgame? So Sophie Online says she thinks movie making is going to be quite different when production starts up. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I think, like I mentioned, exotic locations will be probably not the most efficient and safe locations right now, although the US is having worse of an outbreak than anybody else, so can't really say. Maybe they should go overseas to shoot, because the uncertainty of it all. Most other countries are doing a better job tracing and mitigating than we are. So they're at the tail end of it, whereas we just started. So it's going to take a lot longer, I think. Um, so yeah, that's going to change. But that brings up another question. Everyone's warning that we're going to get used to watching movies digitally and that we won't go back to movie theaters. Do you guys see that happening? I mean, I know it might not happen this year, but maybe say January. Do you think people will settle with the fact that they don't have to drive somewhere to go experience a movie? I don't think so. So let me know what you guys think. Rest in peace, Iron Man, says Saul. Yes, rest in peace. But I'm sure they'll find a way to resurrect him somehow. They always do. They should have brought, I thought, Gwyneth Paltrow as a new Iron Woman, whatever we want to call her, because I thought she was really good in the film, and I could see her doing it. And she said she was willing to do it. We asked her at the press conference for Iron Man 3, and she said she would be willing to do it. So, hello. Phase and start another one. So I guess she didn't fit in the picture. Black Widow, I think, was just a way to appease people who were asking for a lead superhero, female superhero. So I think she satisfied, or that satisfied. And I'm looking forward to that movie. I was actually sad that they moved it because it looks really good. It looks a lot of mano a mano combat, so I like that. Okay, Mission Impossible 7. I just read that they stopped production because of the coronavirus outbreak. So they were underway to shoot that. And unfortunately, that's another film. And unfortunately, put a lot of people out of work. The behind the scenes crew, which really sucks. And they were filming in Italy, is what I'm reading here. So they really had to shut down and get everyone out of there as soon as possible, because that would not have been good. The 7th installment of the franchise. Yeah. So that was halted. Let's see, any other questions? Yeah, I was looking forward to the Top Gun Maverick as well. What other movies were you guys looking forward to? So Andres Juarez is asking me if I saw Mulan. No, I didn't. I actually skipped it that day because it was such a weird time on a Saturday and I had to work. But my friend here, Sefi Khanline, she saw it. So I think she said something about it. I think she said she liked it. Sefika? Angela, my friend? Do you want to speak to that? For most people that I talked to, it was, some people really liked it and other people were just on the fence about it. So that kind of killed my mood to see it. But I still want to see it because, like I said, the cinematography looks really, really good. And the fight sequences look really awesome. So I would still want to see it. Yeah, so somebody, the Boss Baby 2 is meant to be oh, Boss Baby, yeah. Can't believe they're making another movie. Oh, the first one was fun, I guess. Yeah, so that's probably be out 2021 as well. Like I said, everything's up in the air. I tried looking for like the official release dates of a lot of the stuff, but it was just hard. Nobody really knows what's going on. And especially if they push even more, if things don't get better by July, I think the studio's gonna be scrambling to rearrange the schedule once again. So who knows? Okay, so Angela here says she enjoyed it. Visuals were fantastic. It was fun. So that was for Mulan. So she was one of the people who really liked it. And then Saul said the X-Men movie looked really good. Yeah, the New Mutants, that looked really good. There's no date again. So they're not getting any love from Disney. So I don't know if that speaks to the quality of the film. And we know the last X-Men film was horrible. Anybody like the last X-Men film with Sophie Turner? Is that her name? Sophie? Yeah, I think that's her name. It was just a hideous film. It did not fit into the X-Men mythology at all, and it was a really a great disappointment. What did you guys think of it? But yeah, the New Mutants was like a horror film, and they were going to try to reset the X-Men franchise, which it needed to be reset because the last one was just hideous. And it seemed more like of a horror film. But maybe Disney wants to tinker with it a little more. That's always, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But if Kevin Feige is involved, it might be a good thing because that guy is a brilliant creative person. So maybe they're tinkering with it. I think there were some reshoots. I believe the production was troubled as well. So there was just, I don't know, it looks bad for the New Mutants as far as we might never see a good one. All right, probably gonna be wrapping up soon. So I'd like to announce who won, but I have to go through my feed. So what do you guys think? Should I do more of these? Was it helpful information? I don't know what other topics I can cover. I will be doing movie reviews. Since it's a nice day out today, I'm going to go record my movie review for something called Endless Beginnings. That's a film with, Endings and Beginnings. It's called Endings, Beginnings. It's with Shailene Woodley, Sebastian Stan, and James Dornan. Woo! That movie. Sexy. Not for kids. Not for kids. Shailene Woodley is sandwiched between Sebastian Stan and James Dornan. That's a good sandwich. That's a good man sandwich. So it's kind of a slice of life movie. It's going directly to digital. I don't believe it's getting a theatrical run. Oh, I actually want to talk about that. Drive-in movie theaters are open. I would actually go to that. There's one here in Los Angeles, I believe in Paramount. And it's like the old days. I remember, because I'm dating myself, in the 70s, I believe I saw Bambi. Bambi was my first drive-in theater experience, and it left me traumatized when they killed the mom. I could not stop. I remember this. I don't know how old I was. I was really young. I could not stop crying. I was devastated. Anytime any animals die, I'm devastated, even if it's fictional. When I saw Old Yeller, I cried for days. I don't know if you guys have seen the Disney Old Yeller. They have to put him down at the end because he got bitten by a rabid rabbit. So he had to be put down, and it was just the most hideous thing I ever saw. I think I saw it at home, but it was pretty traumatic. I just cannot watch dogs, especially animals, die on screen. Even though I keep telling myself, it's just a movie, it's just a movie. Nope, I'm a mess. I just can't handle it. When my own pets have passed and back in the past, it was just devastating to me. So I can't handle death. Thanks, Disney, for traumatizing me forever. So yeah, would you guys go to drive-in theaters? I actually want to go, but maybe I'll go to drive-in theater in July. I'm not confident right now. I mean, I can go now, but there's no movies. There's no movie to see. So what they should do, good business plan, is play a recent movie like Avengers Endgame and screen it at a drive-in. I would pay to see that. Would you guys pay to see that? So, someone's asking me, did I see The Artist's Wife with Bruce Dern and Lena Olin? No, I believe I was offered the screener, but I'm getting so many screeners right now. It's ridiculous. I can't keep up. But if it's good, I'll watch it. especially if it's on digital. I don't know if it's out yet publicly. I know there were screeners out. This says he would go to a drive-in. And Saul is asking me, did you see Spider-Man Far From Home? Yeah, I did. I wasn't a big fan of that one. Maybe because, I don't know, I just didn't, it was all right. I thought Marvel was pushing it too much. In the original, the Homecoming, there was some hints of Marvel in there, and it was fun and light. And here I thought it was heavy-handed. So Far From Home, I wasn't a big fan. Especially the whole Jake Gyllenhaal's character. I could foresee that guy wasn't a good guy. And plus, we know he's not a good guy. So there was too many hints. And then the whole CGI, I wasn't a fan of. And I think it was because we took Spider-Man out of his element. Because instead of him swinging in New York, on New York skyscrapers, he was swinging in foreign lands. And it didn't seem the same. Some people thought it was refreshing to see him swinging from landmarks other than New York. But I don't know, it just took me out of my element, and it was a bit ridiculous. Especially, like I said, Marvel, I thought there was too much of a heavy hand in that one. All right, so Fija, first drive-in theater movie is The Jungle Book. Oh, that would have been a good one. I don't know if I saw that one. You know what else I saw? My dad took me to go see a horror movie. He's the culprit that got me into horror movies. We used to watch Dracula, all the classic monster movies at home. And I wasn't scared. My sister was, but I wasn't scared. I loved them. All those black and whites, they were so awesome. But my neighbor took me to see American Werewolf in London. That movie scared the shit out of me. And the fact that I was with my neighbors and not my parents even scared me. And that movie was horrifying. I mean, now when I watch it, actually it's still, I mean, the CGI still looks pretty, not the CGI, it's probably practical special effects. But I watched it recently, and it's still pretty scary. I mean, that one was pretty scary at the movie theater, at the drive-in. Even though at the drive-in you're separated from the screen, you feel a little separate from the screen. You think you would feel less attached to the emotions. But actually, no, it's the opposite for that one. And the other movie I saw, I think, on drive-in was... What movie was that? In the 80s. Not Wolverine. Where people become wolves. I don't remember the name of the movie. Damn, I can't remember. It was with the actress from Cujo. Okay, now I gotta look it up. Wolverine. Anyway, I'm not gonna find it because I can't even remember the name of it. But yeah, those were the two horror movies I saw that really scared the bejesus out of me. And then the follow-up to that, American Werewolf in some other location. It wasn't that good. But the original was really good. So Saw It Chapter 2 looks amazing. That was a weird movie. I don't think I liked it as much. Because they go back and forth between the young crew, Losers Club, and the most recent Losers Club. And let me say, the Adults Losers Club were depressing. They didn't have they had some magic. I thought Bill Hader was really good in it. And Jessica Chastain, they were all really good. But I think it was just kind of a downer to see the adults be so traumatized. But who wouldn't be traumatized, right? And then they eventually get into a light-hearted moments with all of them. But being with each other just reminds them of what they went through. So it was a bit of a bummer. So of course, the segments I liked, the scenes I liked the most were the ones with the adult kids, with the Losers Club. So, all right, so we're nearing the hour. What else do you guys want to talk about? More movies? What movies are you guys looking forward to? So we had some encouraging people saying, keep going. Very helpful. So maybe I will do some more live. As soon as we have some really good topics. I don't want to just come online and talk about one story. A lot of people do that. It's kind of boring sometimes. And I'm getting a handle of this live streaming, um, what do you call this? Software program, OBS, where you can put images like I was doing earlier. It's really cool. I'm going to learn how to use it more efficiently. Like this, I can go between post images. So out of these, what are you guys looking forward to? I want to say Quiet Place for sure. Wonder Woman for sure. I might actually make an exception and go to the movies for that one. I already mentioned Mulan, Tenet, Monster Hunter. That's just another Evil Dead, basically. But I would see it. All right, back to me. So that was my question for this session. When would you return to movie theaters? Summer, fall, winter, 2021, or to be determined? Because that was my curiosity about it. Everyone's talking about, oh, I miss movie theaters or blah blah blah. But how many would us be comfortable going back? Stephanie Lopez says she wanted to see Morbius. Yeah, me too. That looked interesting. Especially Jared Leto, since he was wronged as the Joker. So it was good to see that he went over to the Marvel side. Take that, DC. He's going to the Marvel side. Darn you. What do you guys think? Did you think that was a slap to his face as far as going from the Joker, which he was underserved in Suicide Squad? That was a waste of time. Low writer, gangster members. So that was my view of the Joker in Suicide Squad, the Cholo Joker. So now he's Morbius. So I'm glad he went over to the Marvel side. And hopefully this movie is good. And then W. Hawes asking me, movie release red carpets in 2021? Or even 2020. They probably wouldn't, I don't think. Would I go? Oh no. They sandwich you in there, so they probably wouldn't. They're not going to do it this year, I don't think, honestly, because they sandwich you in and you're very close, and then talking to people. Oh yeah, the actors, forget it. They're not going to be talking to people. They're probably the most paranoid of people that I've met. They're very, very cautious of press. So can you imagine with this whole threat looming over them? Even less likely they're going to talk to you. I'm surprised. We've gotten some interview requests to do on the phone, and we interviewed Ana de la Reguera, who has a show on a streaming service called Pantalla, which is a Spanish language streaming service. She has a new show, and we did a Zoom interview. That came out really good. That one's on YouTube right now if you want to watch it. It's in English, so if you don't understand Spanish, you can still watch it. And Andres Juarez says, summer, if it's allowed, he'll probably return back to movie theaters. So hopefully with some social distancing responsibilities there. So that'll be interesting to see what the summer holds for us at movie theaters and who's going to open and who's going to remain open. Like somebody said here that AMC filed for bankruptcy. But that's probably just a move to maybe save money, or not save money. I think I watched on the news channel, they were talking about how some companies will go bankrupt just to get the benefits of bankruptcy, but then return. So don't know how that works, but we'll see. Especially here, I live in Torrance. It's all AMC around here. So I don't know how that's going to work. AMC in LA as well, pretty dominant. Pacific Theaters, and their movie theater tickets are really expensive. So that'll be interesting to see if they discount their tickets. I think they're going to have to discount, like I mentioned, their ticket to get people back. There's some kind of offering that will make people a little more, not confident in returning. That's probably the wrong word. Entice people. Because even though the public health officials might claim, hey, you can go out as long as you wear a mask, you social distance, and don't go out if you're sick, some people might not have, because you have to rely on other humans to do what they're told. And we know how that goes so far sometimes. There's been some reports of Actually, my husband, he sees these uh, news items where apparently a woman, I have to look it out, I don't know if it's true. A woman in the hospital pushed an elderly woman because elderly woman lost her balance and grabbed onto the pole that holds the medicines at the hospitals and pushed her, and she died. People are horrible. Don't push people. If somebody gets too close, just verbally ask him, can you step away or move away? Don't be touching people. And I think he said there was another incident where some people pushed another person because they were too close. Okay, you're touching them now. You just made it worse. All right, Sophie Online. Free popcorn and drinks included. Yep. I think people will be motivated by that, especially if you have a large family. So that'll make it worth their while. Okay, we're at the 2:00 hour. All right, so let's see here. Who brought the most friends? Okay, somebody suggested buy one, get one ticket with early purchase. Yep, that's a good plan. I agree. All right, so let me look. How many people? I wish it could have been more, but no, this is my first one, so we're working at it. And with YouTube, you have to have a few sessions to build up an audience. All right, so I'm gonna have to figure this out maybe later, unless you like watching me do this. I think we might have a tie, but I'll announce it afterwards when I can take a close look right now because it's hard to decipher who brought who. So anyway, thank you for joining me. This was fun. I hope you join me for more. We'll keep you updated. I'll do some promotion a little further ahead out to bring in more people. I just announced it, I think, 2 days ago, just because I was feeling good and motivated. Because the last 2 weeks, there's a process. You have to get used to this new life. And so everyone has to kind of find their footing of how to do it. And I got sick of tired of watching TV 24/7. It's getting too much. Are you guys sick of it? But today's a nice day here in LA, 75, 76, really good weather. So I might have to go outside and play with the doggy in the backyard. So people, take care and be safe. Thanks for watching, and I want to take the opportunity to say thank you to all the frontline workers, especially the nurses and doctors having to go in. I mean, I feel horrible that they have to go in every day not knowing if they're going to catch this thing and get sick. And thank you to especially the grocery workers, all these people working the essential, the delivery guys who are putting themselves in harm's way. And I hope sending prayers to those who have lost people during the coronavirus. It's a really bad time right now. So take care, and thank you for stopping by. And like I said, I will look through the stream to figure out who the winner is. And there's a runner-up prize. So since we didn't get that many people, I can let the second person choose for my selection, because I have tons of digital codes that I don't use with these DVDs, Blu-rays that I get. So, all right, thanks again for coming, and be safe and social distance, like the public officials are suggesting. All right, hasta la vista, baby.